Gayatri Mahamantra with your back straight. Om Bhurabhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodaya. Today we come upon the part 18 of the mystical Gayatri Mahamantra. Today we talk about the primary triggers that are embedded within Gayatri Mahamantra. Those, when chanted or under incantation, they trigger through their roots. They have their corresponding regions within our own subtle anatomy, and which have a specific outcome thereafter. They have their own respective deities, and they also have been given their own respective mantra known as Ishta Gayatri. In the last part, we were talking about Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi in around 3 parts that was to be able to accomplished. Now we come down to the triggers. In the word Bhargo, there are primarily 3 triggers. Namely, the first one is Bhar. It has a subtle region known as Bhargo. The subtle region, according to yogic anatomy, is termed as a granthi, a knot, a subtle knot. That granthi, which is triggered by the chanting of Bhar in Bhargo, is known as the Bharg itself. Now, in Bhargo, the granthi itself is Bhargo, but triggered by the letter Bhar. I hope I'm clear now. Because the word Bhargo and the name of the subtle knot, the subtle region, are the same. Therefore, there might be a confusion when Bhargo is pronounced twice. So, Bhargo is the word which has got 3 letters, Bhar, Go, primarily 2 letters, and Bhar has its subtle region known as Bhargo itself. The outcome of this letter Bhar, when it is triggered, is Raksha, which is security. And the territory it has got within this physical anatomy is the throat pit. That is the region which has been understood by the great exalted ones as the center for Bhara. The lord of this deity is Indra, and it has its own specific mantra known as Isht Indra Gayatri. The next letter in Bhargo is Go. Go too has its own corresponding subtle knot, Granthi, known as Gomati. So whenever the word subtle knot is mentioned before you, you should understand it as a Granthi. Granthi is the name from the scriptures. So the name of this subtle knot, that is Granthi, triggered by the letter Go, is known as Gomati. It is situated in the center of our chest. The outcome of this particular trigger, that is the outcome when the Granthi is triggered by the chanting of this letter Go, is the development of our intellect. And the deity is Ma Saraswati. And likewise, it has got its own corresponding mantra. After Bhargo, now we have the second word, which is Devasya. Devasya has got 3 letters into it, they, were, and sya. The first letter is they. The corresponding granthi or the subtle knot for it is known as Devaki. And the center of this subtle knot, that is granthi, is the left side of our chest. The benefit drawn out of this particular granthi, when it is triggered by the letter De, is the power or the ability to suppress the demonic. And the deity is Mother Durga. Next letter in Devasya is Va. For the Va, the subtle knot or the granthi is Varahi. And its center is on the right side of the chest. Its outcome is Nishtha. If you translate it in the dictionary, online dictionary, it comes out to be allegiance. Allegiance, I find it too incapacitated to explain the essence of Nishtha only in the form of allegiance. Whereas Nishtha means anything that you firmly believe. You think accordingly, you contemplate, and then try to accomplish accordingly, which means thought, deed, and act, all in consonance with your firm belief. There is no dissent between your thoughts, deeds, and the actions are not bereft of what you think or what you say. So thought, act, words, and your deed, they're all in the same line. They're all aligned. So thereby, Nishtha is too far than only allegiance. Allegiance could be understood, which could be compromised, which can also be thwarted at times, whereas the Nishtha, the Nashtik, is able to manifest these subtle powers. So the outcome of the Va, the Granthi Vahini, Varahi, is Nishtha. You have to give itself certain few words which can approximate the meaning of it. And the Isht for that, the deity for that is none other than Hanuman, Bajrang. The last letter in Devasya is Sya. Its subtle knot in our physical dimension is called as Singhani. That Granthi is Singhani. Its location is quite near to the same Granthi which we had mentioned about Devaki, that is the center of the chest. So the proximity of both the subtle knots is quite near. You can term it as the Devaki slightly below, then Singhani. And its benefit is to absorb, to assimilate, that is dharana, to absorb, the ability to absorb knowledge, energy, whatever. Its deity is Prithvi, because Prithvi has the maximum powers to absorb anything within its own self. Now the next word which comes is Dhimahi. That again has got three letters, Dhi, Ma, Hi. The first letter is Dhi. The subtle knot within our own physical dimension is known as Dhyana. The Granthi is Dhyana. And the region for that particular knot or Granthi is our liver. The benefit drawn out of this particular Granthi is prana, that is energy. When you chant the mantra, when the specific letter is chanted, it triggers the corresponding Granthi, that is the knot, and thereafter comes the outcome. And for this, it is prana. And its deity is the sun, the source of energy. The second letter in the word Dhimahi is Ma. Its subtle knot is known as Maryada. Its location is the region of pancreas, slightly below the stomach, not the complete belly, but where the physical organ of stomach, it exists slightly below, around that, that is pancreas, and the benefit drawn out of this particular granthi or the subtle knot is self-control, sanyam, and its deity is Ram. I must make a mention over here that all these granthis, all these letters, they have been given their own corresponding mantra by the exalted ones. Now, the last letter is He under Dhimahi, and the subtle knot or the granthi known for this particular letter is Sphuta. Sphuta, its location is the region of our navel. The outcome of this particular granthi or the subtle knot is tapa, austerity, and its deity is Ma Sita. So today we have understood about the 8 triggers out of 24 in Gayatri Mahamantra that come under the second part of the Gayatri Mantra, which is Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Bhargo has 2, Bhar and Go. Devasya has 3, Devasya. And Dhimahi again has 3, Dhimahi. When the moment we undergo deep incantation, unknowingly this act happens within us. It transpires unknowingly. We don't make any other effort. Willing, we just make one single effort, and that is to make ourselves available with complete awareness and to undergo incantation. Observe our japa. The remaining part is accomplished by itself. The moment any letter is chanted or it undergoes a japa within, the corresponding subtle region is automatically triggered. When it is triggered, it cannot resist then to release its own respective energy, which is the benefit of the outcome. It all happens in small quantities, but it goes on accumulating. That is why we say that the energy or the outcome of the japa for Gayatri Mahamantra comes to a seeker like a farmer's output. A farmer, while farming his land, undergoes rigorous labor, and the outcome is abundance of crop. So likewise in Gayatri also, we plow our within, we sow the seeds of Gayatri, we undergo observation of the japa, and then comes a time which may take a while when we are able to see our own crop. The harvest is ready before us. So it was a mention to the second part. Now from the next episode onwards, we'll come down to the last part of the Gayatri Mahamantra, which is Dhiyo Yonaha Prachodayat. We shall first understand their meaning and then come down to the trigger part of their subtle region within our own physical anatomy and their outcomes. That was enough for this session. Om Hi Satya Hai. Om Hi Satya Hai. Om Hi Satya Hai.